couldn't. I practiced those religious lines in the car for a while because not the acting, but the actual lines, and then I couldn't remember them. It was anything for you, my sweet child.
Fun times for handsome children.
What?
What? Ah!
The cat won't come out, and the dog won't come in. Oh, the cat.
Well, you've got to respect the cat's wishes. If it's not ready to, be open about who it is, you can't force something like that.
I didn't mean out of the closet.
The best thing you can do is to be accepting of the cat when the cat is ready to embrace your acceptance, to really accept your acceptance. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't have to accept the cat. Cat should be ready to trust you.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, we're being zesty with our humour, Jonathan. You can go to any other podcast for some dry laughs, but only here you're going to get the zing and the zang that makes Podtoid what it is.
That's true. I've been thinking about Podtoid again, even though, there's no point. But I do think about it.
There is no point at all.
And I was thinking it should be more like a religion. I've got this theory that game design and religion design are similar. And that has nothing to do with whether any of the religions are true, if the whole idea of their god is true or whatever. It's just the way religion is designed.
Both
it really
of them
works.
do pay really badly for most of the people working in it, apart from a few rich fat cats at the top. That much is true. Right, guys? Right, satire?
And people follow the rules of religion. Mm-hmm. And of video games, and get really invested in them, and pick one that they really love and closely identify with after they've, committed so much time and energy to it. There's so much work, and people do them for no pay. You'll work so hard at a video game or so hard at a religion with no monetary.
We're talking about the ground level, like the consumers of religion and video games.
Yeah,
than
doing
the working in it. I've brought this up before. I actually did an article on Destructoid many years ago called Religious Fundamentalism.
Oh, yeah, that's
because
right.
rather than use the term fanboy, I thought fundamentalist was a lot more fitting. And the whole article sort of compared the most fanatical of religious zealots with the most fanatical of video game fans, and there are many, many similarities. I find. And maybe that's just human nature, Jonathan Holmes. Maybe that's just something that's in all of us, and maybe Podtoid is the mirror held up to society's gormless face, letting it know what it is. That's what we do here. We reflect back on the common person, and that is why we're allowed to get away with doing the awful things we do. Because it's satire, because it's a goof, a gag, a guffaw, a yuck, Jonathan.
One yuck.
Yes.
Singular yuck.
Let's commit a hate crime, Jonathan, and call it and say it's ironic. We should go out tonight and just commit a hate crime on some demographic.
That I don't want to do that. That sounds.
Let's do it.
Well, this gets to where.
Do it.
This is where I was going before. The
Scottish.
The Scottish.
Yeah, we'll commit a hate crime on the Scottish. We'll go to a shop, a store ran by a Scottish person who's come to Boston from Scotland, and put a brick through the window and drag the person out. And one of us will put the person in a headlock and bend them over, and then you, Jonathan, will kick them on the bottom, Jonathan, with a big yellow boot. And go, ha-ha, you Scottish person, stop being so Scottish. Go back to Scotsylvania where you belong and eat a shortbread.
That would be mean. I have nothing...
Right, we're committing a hate crime. That's what you'll shout out really loud and say, we're hate crimers now. And then all the people in Boston will say, he's totally right about society. Doing that.
Wait, this hate crimes are now something that society looks at and says he's totally right?
It's if they do it ironically, which is what we would do. I mean, yes, at base level, we would be committing a genuine hate crime. We would be causing property damage, actual bodily harm. Yes, Jonathan, you are going to douse the Scottish person's car in gasoline and then toss a match on it and dance around nude with a knife and a fork, stabbing at the air, dancing around, going, hate crime, yum yum, hate crime, yum yum. Yes, Jonathan, you will be doing all that, and yes, Jonathan, you will go to court and argue your case to a judge's face, and you will say, Your Honour, Your Honour, satire. And then the judge will bang his gavel and go, Well, I've never seen such a damning indictment on the state of modern society. Jonathan Holmes, I give you the key to the city. Here is your key, and here are some attractive women who will dance around you. And that's not sexually objectifying, for that too is satire.
Whoa, I don't know. I don't know any judges. I know a lot of judges. None of them would do that. They would just put me in jail. So it's just crime. Doing a satire doesn't make it a not crime.
Marshmallows of Boston House of Law will judge that way.
I don't think.
I'm Judge Salty Marshmallows. I love a good bit of satire.
How is it satire to just say it's satire? That's what am I satirizing in this?
The foibles of man.
Just the human condition, or
Oh, non-cisgenders, all of the foibles, Jonathan. All of the races. All of the nations.
Just races.
All of humankind.
By kicking a Scottish guy with a big yellow boot. Yeah. And then dancing around nude with a fork and knife? Am I going to eat him, or what?
Hate crime, yum yum, hate crime, yum yum.
It's mean. It's really disrespectful to do that to a guy.
That's what satire is.
And Scott, it's disrespectful to a guy.
Hurting people, and then just saying, I'm just playing. That's satire. Do a lot more of on Podtoid as well. Hate crime, yum yum.
Satire is risky. I've tried satire.
I eat up all my hate crime, yum yum. I don't leave a drop on the plate. This is you, Jonathan, saying all this, right?
Whoa.
Why are you using the knife and fork in front of the Scottish person's face? Like, dangerously, and bashing them together so they make a big metal scrapey noise. I eat it all up on the hate crime. Yum 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 yum. I will put salt on it. Salt for your tears. I will put cream on it. Cream from your cock.
Whoa. Cock tears and cream from eyes? No, I got that.
Cock tears and cream from eyes.
Yeah. That. The opposite. Flip it around.
Flip it around.
That's not
satire is flipping it around. Turning it back on you. Yes, I kicked you up the arse. But really, is society not kicking us up the arse? Yes, I'm waving a knife and fork in your face and saying hate crime yum yum. But really, is society waving its knife and fork in our faces and committing a hate crime yum yum?
No, it's not.
Is it though?
No.
Right.
No, society's.
Okay. Yeah, but right. Look at it from this way.
Yeah.
Okay? Is it though?
I don't think so. I mean, some aspects of society are causing trouble for some people somewhere, somehow. I'll try
and hit you from a different angle on this, right?
Okay.
Society.
That's it. Yeah. It's people say that Grand Theft Auto is satire. And it is sometimes, right?
I think that should be the tagline. Grand Theft Auto, it is a satire sometimes.
Right? I think.
I
don't know.
It sometimes tries to be it, yes.
Yes, on occasion it does. I'm really enjoying it too.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah, more than I expected that I would.
Makes you feel like a piece of shit, doesn't it?
Well, a little bit, yeah. A little bit. I mean, I'm not that far into it. Like, I haven't met Trevor.
Ah.
So, and I know that that's when things are gonna take a turn for me.
Mm.
But I love Michael. I love how, like, I identify with him so much.
He's got that whole quiet desperation thing of the modern white male about him.
He has that sense of impotence to him, where he, is just, he should have everything he wants, but he doesn't feel like he's doing anything.
Mm.
I love that. I like Michael. I like Franklin. Even the secondary characters so far have been enjoyable. I love the Nebbish that they have plotting heists. He's
Lester, yeah.
Yeah, I really like him. And actually, Michael's son, I really warmed to him on the mission where you go bike riding. I don't know why.
Huh.
I really expected I was going to hate him throughout, and I may hate him again later. But right now, I kind of dig him.
I do enjoy the story arc the family has. It becomes... It's a heartwarming story, but like heartwarming in the most perverse way. Because it really shouldn't be charming at all.
Right, it's like heartwarming in the way that Breaking Bad is during that brief period where Skyler is helping to run the business and everything seems to be going okay for like 20 minutes, right?
Yeah. Spoilers for Breaking Bad, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Seasons years
ago, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what people are like. We've got to watch out for them. If you are upset at any spoilers, we did them satirically. This is the satire special of Podtoid after all. Moving on. Grand Theft Auto 5, that came out this week. As you could tell by the amount of trolling online that sort of dropped by 75% Tuesday morning. And will slowly come back. After an all-time high on Monday, after the reviews went out. And some people got upset because, certain sites, ours included, gave it a 9 out of 10, the lowest score that's ever existed. If you're upset about that, the score was satirical. So, there you go.
I had never seen anyone get upset about a 9 before. I've seen people get upset about 8s.
I've seen it before. Well, we talked the other day. We were talking about Zelda fans. Although, incidentally... Good reactions to the Wind Waker HD review, gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and people weren't losing their shit, which pleased me. But I have seen on certain Zelda fan sites, people they have gotten upset before over 9s. And Smash Brothers fans as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they ended up hating Smash Brothers Brawl, so many of them, after the game had been out for a little while. And these were all people, stop me if I'm wrong, but I didn't think Grand Theft Auto came out until midnight on Monday. So these were all people angry at you before they played it.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, just check.
Got upset at myself, got upset at Greg Tito at The Escapist. He gave it a 7, well, the equivalent of a 7.5 out of 10. They do like 5 stars, and his was the equivalent, because he didn't like playing as sort of irredeemable bad people, which is legit. That's a legit criticism. It's not one I personally agree with, because I've always found that fascinating, but it's legit. Carolyn Michelle probably got it the worst, because
even though she gave it a 9, right?
Yeah, she gave it a 9, but she dared mention the elements of misogyny in the game, which are there. If you're a Grand Theft Auto fan, you can't deny they're not there. You've got to kind of acknowledge they're there. That's part of it. You can still... No one's saying you have to hate the game. I mean, the fact that GameSpot still gave it a 9 out of 10 and still had those criticisms kind of proves that. It's like, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging this shit. But people fucking flipped out. But then again, they were insecure about any criticisms. I mentioned the graphics look sort of dated compared to other games sort of that have come out since GTA 4 came out. And people are like, well, of course it's dated, the consoles are old. Despite the fact that I was kind of pointing out they're dated by now standards.
Yeah, compared to a lot of games.
I didn't lowball GTA 5 because it doesn't look like Killzone Shadowfall. But at that point, we're asking for logic, which is a bit of an
tall order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And I do think it looks better than Grand Theft Auto 4 did, which is not a game that's aged particularly well. I don't think it's like leaps and bounds ahead the way we have expected from Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
iteration and iteration.
I didn't think it had improved that much. It looks dated compared to other games. At the same time, art direction's really good and the city's fucking huge.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That was the point. I've always said art direction trumps graphical horsepower every single fucking time. I do believe in the video review I said, it doesn't matter. I will take what GTA 5 has over, like, beautiful white engine-powered graphics. But people still just heard. They just heard a criticism and went mental. Even though it was a criticism I immediately said doesn't really matter that much. They made it matter. Oh boy, they made it matter. So there you go. I was, of course, being ironic with my criticisms of Grand Theft Auto 5.
That was satire. It was
entirely
satire.
Satire, guys. Okay, so now you have to like it.
Do you think
fucking swine? You fucking swine! In what world is a 9 out of 10 bad? You incompetent boobs! Sorry, Jonathan.
Is that satire too?
Yes, absolutely.
It's just there's so many people that like this game, I guess, that or like this series or invested in this series emotionally, that with a serving size that large, you're going to get all the more passionate, maybe not rational people. Is that right?
Scum, subhuman scum.
One of the things I'm hoping for in Grand Theft Auto 5 is that I really feel like there are limits put on me. It's one of the things that people love about it that I didn't like as much, is that I like limits put on me in a video game. I like Resident Evil, I like Metal Gear, in part because I really feel like I have to walk in between those lines carefully, or else harsh penalties happen. And the penalties for me in the Grand Theft Auto games have never been harsh enough, so I just kind of feel like it doesn't really matter how good I get at this game. The whole pushing me to get more skilled at it, which I love in video games, it wasn't there as much for me. And I was going to try to introduce that type of thinking. People also love that about religion, gotta not be sinful, or else I'll have to go to the priest and say I'm sorry for a while. Oh, that's exciting. Keeps it interesting, I was going to try to introduce that to Podtoid this week. I was going to add a religious punishment bent to the show, but only if you guys are willing. It's for you too, Conrad.
Well, you're talking about video games. Isn't that already religious punishment for our audience?
In many ways, that's a real hate crime committed against us.
I didn't.
We're happy-go-lucky scamps just trying to have fun.
I was simply lured in, tempted by the devil Holmes.
Yeah, like a pedophile, Jonathan. Luring children. We are children, and you are John Wayne Gacy. I don't even. Kids.
I'm not sure how I even lured.
You are dressed up like a clown, right? With candy, saying, "Hey kids, want some candy?" And we are because we are just happy boys, me and Conrad, playing football and climbing trees and scrumping for apples.
We never knew pain and suffering until you trod upon us. Yeah.
We put our slingshots in the backs of our shorts and just go, "Oh, sure thing, mister, we'll come with ya." And that's when you get us and you hang us up on hooks.
We didn't know. We didn't know the dangers.
We didn't know. And who could blame us? We are the innocents.
You're the innocents?
Yes! And you hooked us up and chainsawed our feet off.
I didn't do... You're the one who talked about covering me in gasoline last week and destroying all my belongings. I don't think I've done anything to you guys. I've been a little annoying sometimes, it's true.
You are the John Wayne Gacy of video games. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer a little bit.
I don't think so. If anything, I'm Ralph Wiggum of video games a little bit. Or that other guy.
What's your middle name?
I don't like talking about it.
Oh my god. Oh, it's got to be really good.
No, I just hate it. It's almost as bad as Road Rules. You know, Road Rules just has no strong sounds in it. It's just like, oh.
Is that your middle name? Yeah, you
Road Rules.
you Jonathan.
Did you legally change it to Road Rules so that's how you got on the show?
You've
It was after the
set
show.
me on, guys. I'm called Road Rules Holmes.
No, my middle name is Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, that is
See, that does sound serial killer-y.
Yes.
John Carl Holmes.
John Carl Holmes. Put a little hyphen between the Carl and the Holmes. John Carl Holmes.
It's John. It's Juan Carlos.
Sonny.
Spanish.
Sonny Carl Holmes.
King. And Jonathan is my name. Don't call me John. You know what happens when my
right. Jonathan
Very
Carlos.
Sure, pretty much. Yeah, I'll take that. What's wrong with that?
Jonathan
A kingly
Carlos.
ring. Kingly ring to that?
Name's Jonathan Carlos Holmes.
What's wrong? What?
I'd like to take you around to see my shed.
Whoa, what's going on?
Mama lives in there sometimes I wheel her in.
That's how Jonathan Carlos Holmes talks?
Do you want to be in a bathtub in several different pieces?
I act like that. Just because my name's Jonathan Carlos
I'd like to invite you to dinner. You're the main course.
Wow, I am not a serial killer, though. I don't talk like that. I'm nice. I'm just a little annoying. So, it's true. I know it's true.
I want to marry a pig. It's going to be a piggy wedding in the forest. That's you, Jonathan. That's you talking to us about video games. When you say something like, oh, hey, did you hear what Nintendo said? All I'm hearing in my head is, I'm going to cut you open like a fish.
Wow, I feel really guilty now. I'm sorry. I guess I should not do that. Huh. Well, this is interesting. You've introduced...
You're going to be my new mama. You're going to be my new mama and live with me in my shed. Society's to blame. But I'm doing satirical.
You make it sound like it would be torture to hear me talk about video games, but you enjoy...
Like being murdered, but being unable to die.
Why is it that bad?
It hurts.
What hurts about it? I don't understand.
It's like the aliens in Alien Nation being thrown into the ocean, Jonathan.
The salty ocean?
Yeah.
I didn't know I was punishing you that much by just talking about video games sometimes.
Honestly, sometimes after we've done a Podtoid and it's like particularly video game heavy, I will wander devastated out of my house.
I've actually been known to just like vomit uncontrollably.
I've seen him do it.
Okay.
I've had to hold him while he's just vomiting over my shoulder. And I'll wander out the house, right, devastated, with a red shirt half open, just going, what have we done to the world? And you've done that to me. You've earth-songed me.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
But you talk about the video games a lot.
I said it again!
You can't help but respond that way?
I can't help it. Because you are a serial killer!
I am not.
Metaphorically.
I have a metaphor for me killing your good times? I don't know. What?
Touching my buzz.
By sometimes bringing up the subject of video games.
Yeah.
And then you talk about it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talk a little too.
Through grit teeth. Feel my bones trying to escape my body.
But you talk about them
like a jingly jangly skeleton and play xylophone on its ribs.
But you talk about them on your shows. You write about them. You seem to like it in other settings.
I'm happy. Everything I've ever done about I don't even play video games. Every time I've ever mentioned video games, it's just in the hopes you will have had your fill, so you don't come on Podtoid and ruin my one ray of hope.
So your entire career, your professional career, is to try to satiate my mad desire.
Bloodlust, your metaphorical lust for blood.
Right.
The blood of innocence, of sexually promiscuous teens at campsites.
But you, then
You're
people owe
Johnny.
me a lot because you are pretty popular.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
Yeah. People like the things you do, the videos, the write-ups, all that.
Oh, yeah, all incidental. It means nothing to me. This is the end game.
I got right.
It was on a Wednesday of you not talking about video games.
Well, I guess everyone owes me a grat of gratitude. Gratitude.
Get up,
Grat of gratitude. Grat of gratitude.
Do they owe us a get of drat, and double gratitude?
Yeah, that too. I got hugged by some guys at the Boston Independent Game Festival's video games.
Festival?
The festival of video games.
Why is there an independent game fist festival, and why haven't I been the maid of honor?
Probably go. There was a maid or two there. There was a man. He hugged. He looked at me and he said, "I just can't stop smiling." Jonathan. Huge smile on his face.
I
Took a
wouldn't be able
picture
to
of
stop
me.
smiling at the fist festival.
Yeah, it was a smiley time.
Yeah.
He had been listening to Podtoid on his way up. He and his friend listened to it. His friend wasn't as excited to see me. He was just excited. I think I was excited.
They're my favourite ones. The ones who have kind of heard Podtoid a bit under duress and then see one of us and think, oh, God.
It was a little like that. Yeah, it was a little like that. So the show's still making people happy, I guess.
Yeah, we're pleasing people.
Mm. But I didn't get to. Now I don't
use the definition somewhat loosely. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you take real liberties with it.
He was real happy. It was legit
That's
happiness, I think. So now I don't know if I should even bother trying to introduce my concept of religion into the show because you guys have already proven to me that I'm punishing you like a harsh god. You miserable.
Your name is Roth. Basically. Eli Roth.
Because I am. Hostile too.
That was a joke, apparently.
Yes, I'm a lot like Eli Roth and hostile.
I don't know what's worse, that you said it or that I also thought it.
Oh, God, both are terrible.
Yeah,
Jonathan.
Yes.
Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
Don't go chasing waterfall, just stick to the rivers and the lakes and you.
Gross. Real close. This is real close.
Jonathan.
Yep.
When are you going to be everybody's Asian girlfriend?
Never. I'm not Asian. I'm not a girl. Nobody wants me to be the girl.
Incidental. Alex and I were talking about this the other night.
Oh yeah, your wife. Alex,
yeah. Long into the night.
Wow.
We talked about you being everybody's Asian girlfriend. Specifically to help gamers, because that seems to be the end game for a lot of gamers who are sort of frightened of women and think that the societal expectations in Japan will allow them to score a girl who is less threatening to them.
Mm-hmm.
They've got this idealized concept in their head. And I'm not necessarily possessed with the belief that such an idealized concept exists.
It might, but not in the exact way they imagine.
Not with a guarantee.
No.
Because, everyone's an individual. And their kind of cartoonish idea of some subservient wife figure. And I've seen people, legit talk about that. Hell, the whole man-baby thread of the week thing we used to do on Podtoid. There are enough people there. For them, the ideal was some, just fabled Asian girlfriend who will obey them. Which I think is very sad and pitiful. And people like that shouldn't be inflicted on any woman. Which is why you're going to be the deflection.
I'm gonna be the deflection.
You're going to be everybody's Asian girlfriend. Idealized and perfected.
I don't think that's possible.
Right? Jonathan Holmes. Pigtail wig.
Mm-hmm.
One of those sort of Sailor Moon type costumes. Hello Kitty bag with a bento box in it. You just sit on a wall, right? Eating an Egg McMuffin out of your bento box. And then people walk up to you and say, will you be my Asian girlfriend? You look at them, do the V sign with your fingers and go, yatta.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what happens now. Yatta!
Don't do the voice, it'll sound racist.
Oh, the rest is not.
You just go, yatta.
Did you watch that show Dads? Is that where you're getting this from? Dads?
So anyway, I imagine that Obama, maybe at Christmas, will come on TV and say, hello, I'm President Obama. Oh, no relation. I'm coming to you live from the White House. I hope you're having a very lovely Christmas. Oh, yes. Just like to announce, Jonathan Holmes is now America's Asian girlfriend. So go on dates with him and get him an Egg McMuffin to put in his bento box. Oi, Savoy! I'll see you next fucking year! And that's the end of Obama. And
He's done for the year?
Yeah. He's going to eat turkey goose and for Christmas, and you will eat an Egg McMuffin out of a bento box.
You would like Egg McMuffin.
Huh?
I don't like Egg McMuffin.
Always.
What's not to like about an Egg McMuffin? Always gotta be contrary. Jesus Christ.
I don't like Egg McMuffin, guys. Sorry.
That's your name. Mary, quite contrary, eating an Egg McMuffin.
That's not. I won't eat it.
You will. It's in your fucking bento box. Law of the bento box says you will eat an Egg McMuffin, and you will rub your stomach and go yatta.
I won't do it.
The best part is me and Conrad will be either side of you while you're eating your Egg McMuffin, just going right up to your ear and going, here's my Japanese boy.
Boy?
Don't worry about it. We haven't. I got the rights to the song, but we can't change the lyrics because of the creative vision.
What song is that?
The one that goes. Here's my Japanese boy.
Sounds pretty good.
Eating an Egg McMuffin from a bento box. He's my Japanese boy. Incidentally, if you do have a lover, be it a boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, whatever, when they're trying to get to sleep at night, crawling over them and then going, he's my Japanese boy, is apparently physically and psychologically painful. As I was informed, while I continued to do it.
Yeah, it's okay.
So, but I imagine you can take it, Jonathan, because you've got to. Because you're the Asian girlfriend America needs, not the one it deserves.
Nobody's going to want to go out with me, you see.
Everybody is. You will be the dream. The dream that the so-called alpha male has always wanted. Everybody's Asian girlfriend. Eat an Egg McMuffin out of a bento box. I saw it on mengoingtheirownway.com. They were saying, I've always dreamed of Jonathan Holmes eating an Egg McMuffin out of a bento box. I'm terrified of women, alimony payments, etc. That was that quote from the forums.
I think you're having a false memory. It's a weird dream-like memory you're having. It's all right.
I do kind of confirm things I want to happen as memories of things that have happened.
It's true. It's okay.
Like that, I definitely saw you getting a deep dicking from a dragon.
I've never been dicked, no.
You were dicked by a big fire-breathing dragon while Dean Cain watched and masturbated.
Old-fashioned Dean Cain or modern Cain?
Modern Dean Cain. Modern sad Dean Cain.
Like anyone likes him.
We've become obsessed with him. Me and my friends.
Huh, really? What about him, you think?
We watched Post-Impact. One of those asylum-style horror films that are just nothing. They're just films of nothing. And Dean Cain was in it, and we just joked about how every day Dean Cain goes in and there's this studio grip, just a regular studio hand named Liam, who just gives him shit all the time, flicking nuts at him while he's trying to act. There was a scene when they're in a car and it's being shaken really roughly, and Liam's on one side off camera shaking it to make it look like it's the weather, and he's just shaking it extra hard and doing it so that Dean Cain's head bashes on the strut down the side. And Dean Cain's like, stop it! And Liam's just like, oh, I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing. Doing stuff like that. Like, there was a child actor, and Liam's trained the child actor to every time the camera's focused behind her head, she's just muttering, loser, loser, prick, loser, to Dean Cain while he's trying to do his lines. No one's going to do anything about it, because Liam's funny. The director's like, Liam's a cool guy. I don't know why you've got a problem with him, Dean Cain. And Liam, you know, my friend Flannel and I were talking about it, like, Liam makes a solid $48K a year. He's got insurance.
That's not that bad.
Sure. Union wages.
Yeah, that's exactly what Flannel said. Unionized. He's offering to buy Dean Cain coffee in the morning and saying sarcastically, don't worry about paying me back right now. I know you're good for it.
That's rough.
You know, really like damning with faint praise. Just like, hey, Dino mate. Big movie this year. Might pay off your whole hotel bill, huh? You gotta be making what? Triple figures? Dino! The blue genie! 10 for the last dinosaur! Just really giving him shit. You know. Edits his IMDb. Crediting him for really shit films and saying he played the dog in Homeward Bound. And Dean Cain's constantly calling like phoning them. Who does that? Phoning them. IMDb to tell them to make the edits, and they've gotten so many calls about editing it, they've locked it. IMDb is now just locked down. And it's and as Flannel put it, it's not that he hasn't worked since 2010, it's just not been updated. It just looks like his career died in 2010. Dean Cain. All because of Liam Kabutz.
Kabutz?
Yeah. Invites people out. Gonna go to Applebee's for an after-shoot dinner. Invites the whole gang, Dean Cain included. Changes it to Chili's later in the day. Innocently forgot to tell Dean that they changed the venue. I'm sorry, bro. That's Liam and Dean. We've been obsessed with this idea since Saturday night.
It's a good idea.
It is a good idea.
Watch a zombie movie.
Liam
might give you more ideas.
Solid
Not Liam. Dean Cain had a zombie movie about military zombies. You should watch it.
The next one we're watching, this is why I mentioned the dragon, is there is one in which the military clones a fire-breathing dragon. And
Oh, yeah! I've heard of this one! That looks terrible!
I'm really looking forward to it. I'm trying to start a Dean Cain marathon locally. And I do believe that the losers trophy in our fantasy football league is going to be called the Dean Cain. Really looking forward to it. I'm obsessed with the guy lately. That doesn't mean every time there's a little bit of Dean Cain news, you've got to link me to it on Twitter and Facebook like you do with Trent Reznor and Willem Dafoe. Just know that I am happy that Dean Cain's around and sadder than I am.
He is. He peaks early. Sad.
Yeah, that he did. You know who didn't peak early, though, Jonathan?
I don't know. I did.
Willem Dafoe.
No, he's still peaking.
It's going from strength to strength.
Peeking into your windows at night.
Willem Dafoe is the first person a friend of mine ever masturbated to.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Wow!
Was she angry at me? Because I said his neck was flappy?
She's furious at you. I got her clearance to tell this story.
Oh, good.
She was a child at the time and saw him in a poster. I forget what it was for. When was he? No, I forget which movie it was, but she saw a movie poster when she was a lot younger with with Willem Dafoe on it. And later that day, grinded up and down on a doll she had of a clown that used to go while thinking about Willem Dafoe.
What?
I am never going to erase that image from my mind. Thank you very much.
I can't. I've heard this story months ago, and it is in my head every single day. That's my friend. whose name I won't mention. I've got her permission to tell the story, but I don't know if she wants... I may have actually mentioned her name on
I
another
would
episode.
imagine that might be going a step far.
Oh, she's not ashamed of it? She's
That's
happy
fine.
to share, which is awesome. She's in our fantasy football league, and her team's called the Willem Dafoes, with a dash between dat and foe. That dash was my idea. And she's getting a team jersey printed, because that's what all of our friends are doing now, because we're all conceited arseholes. And she's going to get Willem Dafoe's face on it. And I'm really worried that the sight of a relatively attractive woman with a Willem Dafoe face on her shirt may be the most soul-burning thing I've ever seen, in a good way. But a bad way in that I'll feel like the worst human.
Right.
But, yeah, the other day she leaned up to me and just said, Jim, do you happen to know what Willem Dafoe's favourite colour and number might be?
Oh.
She was designing the jersey.
I happen to know.
And because a lot of people believe that because we talk about Willem Dafoe, I'm also this this walking Wikipedia, a Willempedia, if you will. But I just told her to go for the colour and number that most sounds like. But his career's going from strength to strength, Jonathan, and I feel if he takes on this next Willem Dafoe movie pitch I've come up for him.
Mm-hmm.
That is a sentence almost. He may peak. This
could be the career culmination.
This may be what it all led up to. This could be his Titanic.
Well.
It's Titanic 2, which is a movie also on Netflix.
TOO or TWO?
2, Roman numeral 2, Titanic 2.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, here is a movie I came up with for Willem Dafoe. It's called It Was a Fine Luncheon. Movie starts as Willem Dafoe and some good friends of his, Kevin Bacon and Val Kilmer. They're playing themselves, I guess. Why not? It's black and white. There's a little bit of, soft jazz, a little bit of kind of bistro music playing. And they're just finishing their meal. There's like the last few bits of lettuce and ham on Willem Dafoe's plate. Val Kilmer finished ages ago.
He's been staring at Dafoe's plate hungrily for the last 20 minutes. You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah. It's satire, we can say that. Kevin Bacon's just sort of nobbling on a breadstick. He ordered a light lunch, but he's okay. It fades out slowly while they sort of finish eating. And it comes back later. They're in a kind of... it almost looks like a hotel lobby. But you can't really get a good shot of the surroundings because it's all weird angles and things. This is very artistic. This is an arty film. Very, big close-ups sometimes of just the mouths and the noses, and just a bit of an elbow sometimes, while they talk. And it's mostly, the rest of the film is mostly just Willem Dafoe saying things like, "It was a fine luncheon. The ham was so succulent. The water, iced and chilled to perfection. Don't get me started on the asparagus. Aye, indeed, 'twas a fine luncheon. What did you think of the scallops, Kevin Bacon?" And Kevin Bacon's all, "Those scallops were really good, I think. Yeah, it was cool. Scallops were cool, man. They were cool." "Yeah, they were. Indeed, it was a fine luncheon. The eggs..."
Have you been watching Jim Jarmusch films lately or something? Because that's what this sounds like.
To be honest, no. I was just having lunch in public, saying a bit too loud, "It was a fine luncheon."
So it's based on you, kinda.
Yeah.
It's a little autobiographical.
"The ranch dressing on the house salad was unmatched, unparalleled even. Val Kilmer, did you take those crackers from the restaurant and bring them here?" What? I don't blame
you. How I expect he'd sound.
I don't blame you, Val Kilmer, the man who was the Batman. They were fine crackers. Appetizing. For a fine luncheon. About 10 minutes of silence follows this. They're just a subtle crunch of Val Kilmer's last crackers. Oh, God. And Willem Dafoe sits back. Kevin Bacon starts tweeting on his mobile phone. And his BlackBerry. What a twat. 10 minutes of just silence and crunching and a bit of breathing. The camera angles, like in his ear. Over, like just swooping overhead. At one point, just completely top down, showing all three men, and they form a kind of triangle in where they're sat. And maybe this triangle says something about the three people of the film. 10 minutes pass. Hey guys, do you remember that time we had lunch together? Oh, it was a fine luncheon. Suckling pig is what we didn't have at the luncheon. It didn't matter. Lemon drizzle. Pasta. Might have some coffee tonight. It was a fine luncheon indeed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
Is that Nicolas Cage? I can't remember.
It's Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon, sorry.
How was the strawberry lemonade, Kevin Bacon? It was a little tart, but I don't mind. Of course you don't. That was a lunch for the ages. Fine luncheon. Wonder what their brunch is like, eh? Kevin Bacon's like, and
why are they laughing?
This is Val Kilmer laughing. Brunch. It is funny. Oh, but back to more serious matters. It was a fine luncheon. The baby new potatoes were just the right kind of fineness. Not too mushy, not too hard. Like the broccoli. The green florets of broccoli. Indeed. It was a fine luncheon.
Whoa. Sorry.
There's about 2 hours of that. Maybe 2.5 if there's a lot more I want to say about the human condition.
Satire?
I feel like I've taken my clothes off in front of you and stripped myself bare.
Good.
I feel very vulnerable now.
You should.
About It Was a Fine Luncheon starring Willem Dafoe.
Put yourself out there. People felt it. They felt it. They felt that, and that's good. You did that.
I want people to leave the movie theatre thinking to themselves, I'm inclined to believe it was a fine luncheon. I
think they'll be convinced, sure.
I want movie critics to say, it felt like I ate the luncheon myself, and really, aren't we all eating society's luncheon?
Wow.
Honeyed ham is also what they would say in the review.
That is deep, I feel.
I'm a deep man.
What'd you say?
I'm a deep man.
Yes, you are, indeed.
I've got 3, maybe even 5 emotions. I'm just thinking, when, right, will poverty end? Do you have an answer, Jonathan?
It will never end.
No.
There are economies, I guess.
No one's got a fucking answer.
We're not even talking about economies of money. We're talking about economy of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. We are?
The soul.
What does that mean? Wow.
I know what the word superego means, Jonathan.
It's a cool word.
And id. and I know they're related somehow. You know, if you're looking for intelligent discourse, I think I'm your man. I really have no idea what kind of point I'm trying to make with this. Let's move on. Oh, that was fun.
It was.
This is a good Podtoid.
It's a great
Yeah,
Podtoid.
It's going
Good for the
well.
best.
Yeah, someone.
I'm quite enjoying myself.
It's a romp.
It is.
Someone last week said that last week's was the first one they've ever not enjoyed. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's unbelievable to me that there would be this many episodes of the show and only now they've reached one they didn't
Exactly.
like. This must have been like their second or third episode listening.
Or their first.
Well, that's why I wanted to introduce religion to the show.
Oh yeah, I was going to circle back to it.
Do you want to? Or do you want to talk about Sega buying Atlas, maybe?
I never want to talk about that.
Did that actually happen? I saw that. I saw reports that it happened, then I saw an hour later, like people saying, "No, wait, that's not right," and I didn't follow up because I'm terrible.
The Nikkei, I believe it was the Nikkei, says it happened, but Sega is denying to admit it for some reason. I'm assuming because they would rather have a big thunderous announcement.
And they hate admitting anything until they've put the press release out.
Right.
Sheer ego. They want to control the news, even if they've lost all control of the news.
Right. And they're in denial sometimes of that.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, but Sega has done that, true. Capcom's certainly done it. You know, they just see characters in a new fighting game, and they're like standing in front of it doing a peace sign, like, hey! And then the pictures are all over the website, and then they're like, Capcom, is T-Hawk really going to be in Super Street Fighter 4? And they're like, we don't know. Maybe not. but he's playing it. We're watching Seth Killian play it. No, you're not.
Oh, I just got a message from David Hayter.
Oh, what's he doing?
He just thanked me for my support.
You supported him?
I said earlier in the day I wouldn't throw him away like a disposable camera like Konami did.
Whoa.
Hater's got a hater.
Damn right.
Yeah. I
feel sad for him. If it's not all some big game on Kojima's part. It might be. I just want to say that just because, like everyone on the internet, I hate the thought of someone getting one over on me. But if it's true, I mean, just god damn, what's up with Konami? They're out of their fucking minds. Kiefer Sutherland. He's famous, I guess.
Yeah, and to not have them both, because you can so easily have David Hayter play one of the snakes and then have Sutherland do another snake. It'd be great. Maybe they'll do that, but if they don't do that, it's real loss, real waste, talent.
I had the time of my life, and I owe it all to you.
Wow. I didn't think you could do that. That was good.
That's just me again pledging more support for David Hayter.
He is kind of the Patrick Swayze of the game voice industry.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you are the lady who got a nose job. It's a compliment. Everyone likes you, just like everyone likes her. I think she's great. Jennifer Grey, I believe her name is.
You are correct.
Yeah,
she was Ferris Bueller's sister.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She regrets the nose job because she said it made her then look like everybody else, and then she didn't get work.
Yeah,
because she wasn't remarkable anymore, which is just a shame.
It is, but it certainly could be worse. I mean,
suggest you don't get a nose job if you want one. Do it. I don't give a fuck. Go do what you want, Jonathan. Please get a nose job, Jonathan.
I don't want to get one.
Have a giant red clown's nose. But genetically, biological, big red round clown nose, and that actually squeaks and releases pheromones.
I cannot wait for the genetically modified organ industry to cross with the novelty entertainment business.
Yes.
Shit's gonna get really entertaining.
Yeah. It's gonna get real freaky, real Jonathan. Mostly for you.
Me? Why me?
Because you are a good boy.
I'm old. I'm almost 40. You know?
Well, that's when life begins, unless you're John Lennon.
Whoa. When did he die? I can't remember.
Not younger than that, I think.
Yeah, he was already dead, I think.
It's a bit of an appropriated gag, that one.
It'll be all
It's
right.
satire.
It's satire.
Yeah. Just a game.
I believe it was Paul Whitehouse who said that originally. I like you.
I like you too.
Ah.
Biological talk. You guys should all check out David Cronenberg's new thing. We talked about him last week.
Is he Is he directing an episode of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic?
Yes, please.
That would really be
He
something.
should.
It's not impossible for that to happen. Weirder things have happened. He is teaming with some weird people to pretend.
It's unlike him.
Yeah. He's they're pretending, and maybe they mean it. It's hard to tell. It's one of those. I almost posted it on Destructoid because it is sort of a video game, but by my standards, it wasn't a video game enough. You can go to this website called Body Mind Change, and you can register. And if you do, you'll end up going through, it's bodymindchange.ca because they're Canadian. You will register to have what looks a little bit like a cuttlefish and a little bit like an alien attached to your brain, and it is called a pod. It will be your personal on-demand, and by that I mean it will be in your brain all the time, help you live longer, guide your thoughts in better directions, give you better feelings, all the things you would want out of a David Cronenberg type situation. And then if you go to Toronto, you actually will get your pod from a museum, and along the way you will follow a narrative on the website about what happens with these pods. I think it's through videos, but it's game-like in that you choose the direction of the narrative. Does that sound right?
Interesting.
Yeah, weird. Check it out. It's worth it.
I've got my hands curled up into fists, Jonathan.
How come?
And I'm pushing them in the side of my head.
Oh, no.
And then scowling and then pushing my lips out. Because in my mind, I think it makes me look like an Octorok from The Legend of Zelda. I
I was going to ask you specifically. I'm so lucky.
I'm being an Octorok, Jonathan. Respect my lifestyle.
Thousands of people would love to be able to have access to Jim Sterling once a week and talk to him and ask him questions. I don't take advantage of that enough. I feel like a loser.
I've got an Ask FM page if people do want to ask me questions. I answer a lot of them. Not all of them, because sometimes I get like 100. And then I have to get rid of some, especially ones that are a bit over the line.
But I get to ask you stuff every week. Sometimes you listen.
Unfettered access to any one of my holes.
Look. Your ear.
You can put it in me, Jonathan. I'd let you finger me while I wank off.
Really?
Yeah.
Like your ear hole?
If you want. I think you'd be wasting an opportunity. To be honest, I think that would be like getting a cherry Bakewell and eating a carrot. But there you go.
We all make our choices. It's true.
We all live with what we've done.
It's true. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Did they change the beginning part where you have to go in without a sword? You know that part? That's stealthy? People said, oh, they changed the stealth this time, guys. It's going to be better. A lot of people complained. People forget this about Wind Waker. It's a very rose-colored glasses sort of game. People always remember the Triforce part being bad, but there's a lot of other parts that slow it down.
I hate the stealth section.
Yeah?
This is part of the reason why I mention, a lot of the dated things. Like, there's a lot of clunkiness to that game that wasn't fixed. And I wouldn't have expected it to be fixed, because a lot of it it's just it's an HD remaster. We know how these things work. Yeah. I mean, it's been a long, long time since I played the original Wind Waker. I did the stealth stuff.
Still felt that way?
There. Then again, some bits of it didn't seem as necessary as they once were.
Huh.
Like the bits inside the corridors with the signposts. Or like the things that are a bit like signposts and with the campfires in the middle.
Uh-huh.
Because I tried doing them, they got really annoyed and then sidestepped them.
Oh, all right.
I can't remember how mandatory they used to be.
Pretty mandatory
now.
At least as I recall 10 years ago, I remember trying to get around those parts and never feeling like I was playing particularly poorly. I was just a little bit impatient because there was nothing to do in
It's
that
the
part.
fucking rats.
Yeah. I was just in a rush to get that part over. And it made sense in terms of the overall game, because later you come back to that castle with your sword and it's like, oh, I felt so disempowered before. Now I got a sword. I've really grown up now. Yay. And they tend to do that with Zelda games. Like they did it with Skyward Sword a lot. They have you come back to an area more empowered, so you're supposed to feel
It's
like, oh.
legit, yeah. It's a legit idea. It's just,
But
you got to do it
whether
right.
people just might not like the idea, unfortunately, for them. So yeah. Oh, thanks for answering my question. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome, Jonathan. You can ask me anything you want. Like if I want to marry you.
So my religious idea.
All right,
It's
yeah.
a little bit too late. The time for it is long gone. But people are going to be wondering what I was thinking, so I'll tell them, and tell you, and you too, Conrad, because this applies to you.
I'm going to tell you too.
You're going to tell me?
Jonathan Holmes. I'm Bono Fox out of the YouTube. And if there's one thing that I always wanted to know, it's what were you talking about at the beginning of the Podtoid, where you said that you religioned. Sincerely yours, Bono Fox out of the YouTube.
I was just letting that hang as long as I could.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. Feels good.
It feels good to not do Podtoid when we should. To just be dead air for an hour. We should do it one day and say it is representative of something.
It could be. It's
We'll work
artish.
out what it means later.
That's what they do. That's what the I've told you about art school guys. The kind that do something and then decide what it means later, and then get a huge grant for not what they came up with, but for what they came up with to explain what they came up with.
Oh, the same was true when I used to do performing arts. Used to do the drama and stuff. Like, we got marked down. They said it was for something else, but we know why it was. Because we refused to play that game and said the big meaning, the big point between the play we put on was to entertain people.
Oh yeah, you
they
can't
marked us down for that because we were like, you know what? Our big meaning is to just give people a fucking good time.
No, you gotta have some sort of thing that makes people feel good about themselves for thinking it's good. People. So
we did make fun of the other performing arts students by partway through the play crawling around on the floor going, welcome to the circus, welcome to the circus, I am the circus, you are the circus, and just getting really pretentious. They needed it.
I'm sure they're fine. It's just feedback. Feedback.
You should have just couched it as we're attempting to do a satire of the pretentious need of theater to inject theme and subtext in an effort to over-intellectualize.
Yeah.
And then you'd have gotten a fucking A.
Damn right. Actually, I think in that class, to get an A, you had to say it was a metaphor for sex.
Which is, of course, all a metaphor for sex.
Yes.
Because everything, yes, right.
Oh, that class doesn't exist anymore. Shortly after we left, the whole department closed down.
Wow.
I'm glad about that. I like the idea of things I used to be involved with just crumbling.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You got in while you could. You know about it. No one else will.
It's fitting for my life. The hospital I was born in was demolished.
Whoa.
The first places I ever used to do writing and stuff for are long gone. Fingers crossed the first company I ever worked for in the real world is closed by now and bankrupt. Actually, I think they're still around, but they're heading that way. I like the idea that anything I've been involved with eventually goes away, which is one reason why I shouldn't quit Destructoid, because I don't want it to go away.
Yeah,
if I happen, I leave oblivion in my wake, Jonathan.
Well, you have, yeah, but
my presence just destroys things.
I had a similar. I have a similar gift, or I did. It seems like 90% of the women that I would sleep with would then marry the next person they got in a relationship with, like that. I mean, it was astounding. I should have
Interesting.
sold services.
But now you're married.
Now I'm married, and nobody has sex with me.
Someday.
No.
Marriages are like that, though. You know, don't they
Oh
like ebb
God, you
and
know what
flow,
though?
wax and
It's
wane?
so much work. Like
Marriages.
it's no the sex. Screw the marriage is
Oh.
easy. Marriage is easy. Just stay as far away from each other as you possibly can. It's not hard. No,
It would,
the sex part that's annoying because I mean you can partially get undressed, you could totally get undressed, but if you don't get totally undressed, you're gonna get sweatier.
mm,
And I don't really want to devote 15 minutes to interrupting my day or what else I'm doing to do that. And I mean, I'm being generous. 15 minutes is a little generous. So I don't want to devote 5 minutes taken away from the other things that I need to do to take care of that. Oh, well, okay, 5 minutes with a shower, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
yeah, a lot of
A
people,
fairly thorough shower.
Right, yeah.
the married out there will
Like the
understand.
shame out shower, right. Yeah, that's the
Hmm.
one.
I remembered suddenly that my mother knew a real grave robber, and I thought I would tell you because Jim has come up with that before.
Of course
Just
you
suddenly
did.
remembered. Yeah, she was telling me about it on the phone, and I was being impatient. But she really wanted to tell me all about it. Have I impersonated my mother on Podtoid before? I can't remember.
She's not the one that used to go, no rules, is it?
No, that's my aunt.
Ah.
It's my aunt. I shouldn't use names. So my mother has a weird accent, like how my uncle does. It's like German and Spanish and like just tired combo. And she was on the phone with me the other day, talking about how there's a dentist who is a child molester. And she said it in this nonchalant, like, yeah, a dentist was a child molester. Yeah, put all the girls to sleep and do whatever you want.
Jesus.
What a creep, huh? What a creep he was. That's why my teeth
Oh,
off.
if there's one thing that annoys me, it's child molesters.
Yeah, she's totally unimpressed with him. She's unimpressed with everything. She worked in the prison system for 25 years, so she's heard it all. Oh yeah, he burned his face off. He's got no face. It's really funny. It's no nose. His eyes don't work. He just sits around.
These don't work.
Yeah. She told me a story about a guy. He's actually, I think, a police officer, and it's a depressing story. Get ready. He wanted to kill himself because his wife was cheating on him, and in a drunken rage, burned down the house, hoping to take him, his wife, and his kids with him. But instead, he just melted himself, and the wife and kids were fine. But he still got life in prison for attempted murder. And she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I saw old melty face. He's sad. I gave him some candy. He liked it. His tongue still works. And he's writing letters, and I help him put them in the mail. Oh, poor guy. Just completely nonplussed. She's completely unimpressed with anything.
She sounds
She,
incredible.
yeah, she's a pretty cool lady. I like her. She was saying, "Oh, there was this boy, and his mother put him in the refrigerator and kept him in there. I don't think it helped his brain. He doesn't think too good after that. And she'd always come to visit him, and she had an anti-abortion bumper sticker. And I'm like, who are you to talk? You put him. You tried to put him in the."
Oh my
She's so
god.
sassy about it, saying that people, once you lock your child in a refrigerator and try to kill them, you're no longer allowed to be anti-abortion because you tried to kill them after you had them.
She has got logic there.
She has a
Fair
funny.
point.
She's got her own logic. So this guy who had been locked in a refrigerator, he wasn't too smart, and she bought him a cupcake for his birthday. He was in jail, and when he bought him a cupcake, he was really, really happy and cried, and she was basically like remothering him in the prison. And I'm like, what did he do? She's like, oh, he was a grave robber. He had to just go into the graveyard and take what he pleases and dug up the bodies, and he didn't mind. He just wanted to get some jewels.
He didn't mind.
He thought it was okay, but then he went into the church and he held him up with a stick up. And he took all the money, so then they put him in jail. He shouldn't have done that. But she was kind of, in saying that, was kind of saying the grave robbing was okay.
Yeah, he crossed a line when it came to just robbing.
Yeah, that's my mom for you.
Vanilla robbing, bad. Grave robbing, fine. And that's a fun callback to one of my favourite, actually, bits we ever did on Podtoid, when you and I became 18th century grave robbers, which definitely happened.
There are real, modern century grave robbers, as it turns out. Yeah. And now I know about one, kind of, who was locked in the refrigerator. My mom bought him a cupcake. Sorry for it taking so long with that. I just enjoy it. It's a good time. My religion idea, just so people know. And then I'm done. I'm done talking, I promise. Then I'll do questions if you want. I was going to, I was thinking of myself as someone who is sometimes the victim on this show. And you've proven to me that I actually victimize you. And now I don't feel like this idea is appropriate. Now I just feel guilty for ever talking about video games. I'm sorry. But if it were to be that there were times that I was feeling victimized on the show, or just feeling as though the power dynamic had swayed too far to you and Conrad, because you and Conrad really team up now, and it is a little bit more unbalanced, and it feels like a video game where you guys are in God mode and just do whatever you want, and there's no limits on you, which I figured would be less interesting to you. So it would be more interesting, I thought, for you and Conrad and for the listeners, if you went too far, I would say cookies going in the oven, and that would be my code. And then if you guys, then I wouldn't talk for the rest of the show. And if you wanted me to talk again, if you wanted to give a penance, you would have to say, "Cookie, suds me up with soap and foam," and I would say, it's like religion, they have these things they repeat every week, like every Sunday they read from
I'm thinking more like BDSM safe words, but that's a religion of its own kind.
That's the thing. People only do religion and video games if they actually like the punishment, kind of. Like, they like drinking the wine and eating the flesh of the guy. They think it's kind of cool. They wouldn't tell you. And I thought you would like it more if it was Cookie. You're calling me Cookie. Sets me up with soap and foam, and then I say, what do I say after that? I was thinking of this while I was driving home. I believe after that I say, "Anything for you, my dear child." And then I go, that's the sound of you being soaped. It's metaphor. It's satire. And then go, "Your body and your soul have been cleansed and been cleaned, my dear." And then I'll go back to talking on the show. So the only parts you guys have to remember are when I say cookies going in the oven, then you have to say, "Cookie, soap me up with suds and foam," and then the whole routine will take.
Okay, let's give this a dry run.
Okay, sure.
Let's try this out.
So first you have to upset me in some way, make me feel disrespected or victimized.
Jonathan Holmes!
Yes, Jim.
You are a sexy fucking idiot.
Oh, come on. I'm not that good looking.
I really do think you are like the hot imbecile in Grandpa's fuck shed.
But I'm not that stupid. See, it has to escalate.
You're a complete dumbass. Sexy, but like a stooge.
Can I talk about video games then?
What?
Can I talk about video games? And then you say no.
No. Jonathan.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
You're gonna run around Boston and try and fuck people's cocks with your asshole.
Cookies going in the oven.
So, Jim.
Yeah.
You want to talk about PS Vita TV? Talk about some video games now?
Yeah. We're going to talk about video games now. PS Vita TV. What do you think of that, Conrad? Because I'm
actually really intrigued by it. I don't know, people listening, if they watch Office Chat, we talked about this a little bit over there, but I'm really excited because, it's basically like a little Roku box that plays PS Vita games on my TV. And since I don't really like play that well with handhelds, I don't get out of the house that much, or when I'm out of the house, it's not really conducive to handheld playing. So I'm really most comfortable playing on my couch, and to get access to the Vita library in that position is really a great idea for me personally. Plus, it's like half the price of a Vita.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I don't really quite see the excitement over it. I've got similar opinions about Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know why people are so excited about this game. But then again, I mean, I'm really excited about Animal Crossing, and I've been trying to find a rice grasshopper in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well, you know, I will actually. I keep meaning. Maybe you can tell me. Was it worth it for me to go pick up Wonderful 101, or am I going to get bored like 20 minutes in?
I think you're going to get bored. I can't think of anyone who liked Wonderful 101. You know, it sold about 2 copies, and I believe on Metacritic it's got a well-deserved like 10 out of 100. No one liked it. I think the common consensus is Wonderful 101 is more like Blunderful 101.
Oh, sick bird.
So that concludes, I think, the video game part of Podtoid. And I think all that remains to be said is, Cookie, suds me up with soap and water.
I'm so sad now. That was so hard to not talk.
Do the bit.
I'm sorry. Yes, okay. What do I say again? Yeah, yes, child. Anything you ask. Your body has been cleansed and been cleaned, child. Real weird person. You turned it around to make terribly.
So anyway, back to you fucking people's dicks with your own ass. It's what we call the super-powered bottom.
Jeez, wouldn't that hurt? It won't go in, right?
You'd need a splint.
Yeah, some sort of opening technique, some dilation.
The jaws of life.
Well, I put it out there. I've asked the Podtoid questions.
Oh, God, I've gone slightly dizzy from the laughter on that last bit. That voice killed me.
Oh, yeah, I mean it. I mean that voice. It's legit. Somebody was already asking questions. Vid Sermon, our old friend.
Oh, good old Vid.
He wants to start sending us sex doll descriptions again.
Oh shit, Toby sent an email with more of those.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, we left it a bit late this week, I think. But we'll do that next week if someone reminds me. We will also be hopefully having Derry Baranovsky back soon.
Danny. Derry. It's weird. He was just asking me to be on Sup Holmes. I don't think he remembers what shows I'm actually on. He was like, I want to be on your show again. I was like, Sup Holmes? He's like, yeah, sure. But maybe he wants to be on this instead. Either way, it's fine. I'd be happy to have him on either show. Let's see. No, I don't have any advice for you, Brian Kami. Brian Kami asks, any advice on getting internships in game companies as someone who isn't studying coding tech things? I have no idea how to do that. I think the smaller the company and the less you're willing to get paid, the more likely you are to at least get a start. And there's a lot of small companies these days that are run by industry veterans whom are looking for as much help as they can because they don't have any money, but they do have a ton of experience to share. Then you could look them up. Geez, so many. People from Harmonix, people from 2K Boston, people from Capcom, people from EA. They're all splitting off and starting their own little companies. So try to look them up and contact them. But other than that, I have no special advice. You guys got any ideas? Yeah.
You might be able to find a regional meetup group of people who get together and do a happy hour. People who are trying to network within the business and things like that. That might be a good source for sort of getting your foot in the door, finding out about jobs becoming available ahead of time. It makes it easier to apply for them if you know that they're coming up ahead. Things like that.
Yeah, good point. More questions happened. Facepalm Doctor, who is at Sleepin' Eyes on Twitter, asks, can the Ouya fix itself? And there is a lot of Ouya stuff going on. As we speak, we posted something. Chris Carter posted something about the free the games thing and how it's all screwed up. But simultaneous to that, and I felt very badly for Chris on this, Ouya changed the free to games policy like the second he posted that. So he's either going to look like he waved his hand and changed their mind instantly, or like someone who was just barely out of date on his editorial. I don't know. We'll see. I think Ouya is... it's hard to imagine things changing for it, especially with the Xbox One and the PS4. I think they'd have to really rebrand it and almost relaunch it at this point with a new set of games, a new ad campaign, a completely new image, because it's just gone downhill from here. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think Tim Allen could fix the Ouya.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's not a bad system. It's a neat little thing, but I really wonder now whether further attempts to try and fix it will just make it worse.
Yeah, their image is just all messed up. And I used to think, oh yeah, if it gets enough exclusives, it'll be fine. But people have learned that an Ouya exclusive will be exclusive for 6 months and then will come to PC at the very longest. So no one thinks they need to get one in order to play any particular games, and they're probably going to be better to play on PC. A lot of them are going to come to other consoles as well. There just isn't any reason to take the risk on it or put the time into it, unfortunately, for them. I hope that changes. I love the people working on it, and I think the idea was great, but the execution, I don't know, maybe better to just scrap it and come out with something else sooner rather than later. Just start over.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, like, I've talked before on other Podtoids about the NVIDIA Shield, which just seems to be doing what the Ouya did, but way better. There you've got a physical controller with an Android marketplace, one with like way better games that are built specially for it, and full access to the actual Google Play Store, and the Ouya with its little weird walled garden, and it's talking about focusing on indies and yet kind of really not. Like, just, I don't know. I think it's dead in the water, and I normally hate making predictions about hardware because it's too unpredictable, I think. But the Ouya does seem like it's done.
Mm-hmm. It seems that way, doesn't it?
Or it never even got started to get done.
Yeah, it sold a little. I mean, something happened once, but it doesn't seem like anything's happening again. That Dragon Cancer coming out, it's exclusive. That'll pick up a little bit for it, but I can't imagine that they're going to
Looking forward to Gridiron.
Oh, yeah. All that stuff. It's so sad, their image ruined. Other questions happened. Adam Tierney of Way Forward wants to know, what's Blaster Master's favorite TV show? Son of a bitch. This guy's really, troubling us.
Hey,
He's unanswerable.
Because I follow you both, so I'm seeing the questions pop up on my tweet deck, and I just saw his question, why isn't Kirby?
Yeah. I love him. I love Adam Tierney, don't get me wrong. But they do have a way of being mischievous. What other questions happened? Worst game to be released in the foreseeable future. That's Corey Hunter Park. I think all the games are kind of good these days. Is there any game that's coming out that you guys are really thinking, whoa, that's going to be bad?
I think the last one where I really didn't have much hope for it was The Walking Dead Survival Instinct. I don't think I've seen any lately that have made me think, well, that's going to suck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel pretty optimistic and really happy about where video games are at these days.
I think as a game reviewer anyway, you should always try and at least approach every game you come up to with, this could be good. I hope it's good.
Sure, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm all coffee now from the laughing earlier.
Oh, I'm so glad. Conrad, I don't want to skip you. Is there stuff you wanted to say about that stuff?
No, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, at worst, I think things are going to be mediocre before they're out. Mm-hmm. It's really hard for me to venture into this is going to suck. Walking Dead Survival Instinct, I was pretty sure was going to be miserable. Lost Planet 3, my expectations were pretty low.
Just Capcom's whole treatment of it just led left one
Right.
feeling unconfident.
Yeah, that's and I haven't played it, so I still don't know if it's good or not. But yeah, that's but then that's mediocre at worst was my fear there, which is really how I felt about the whole series.
Yeah, the first one, of course, had promise. The second one, I liked the way it looked. I liked the monster designs. It was fun that they tried to take what was popular about Monster Hunter and apply it to a shooter. That's what I felt about that one, but the execution left a lot. Just left you kind of feeling hollow inside, like that Drano feeling. Matt McDermott, who is script to graph. Question for Jim. I really enjoy Rhyme Down Spectacular, which is very nice. Is there any chance of getting Yahtzee on Podtoid one day? I wonder. I don't know Yahtzee. You know him a little. You think he'd ever want to show up on this?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does his own thing, and I think he's quite happy sort of just doing his own thing.
Sure.
He's a very to himself kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I really wouldn't like to put other colleagues of mine on Podtoid.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to destroy the relationships and careers of you and me, Holmes, but we wouldn't want to like envelop anyone else in that.
Well, I like to think that we've all worked with each other long enough to be friends. And so we're all happy to go down on this burning ship together. I don't want to invite other people on, except Danny Baranowski, who, to be honest, seems to really get with it.
He does. And his career is safe.
Yeah.
His music is so good, people won't mind if he accidentally talks about burning me or whatever. Terry Jr. asks, and he is at, I don't know if that's an I or an L. I always get confused by that. But it looks like T. Lad Yaga. I like Terry Jr. a lot. He asks, will Resident Evil ever make a comeback and be scary again? I miss the good old days when games had heart. Lol. He's laughing about it.
I'll be honest, creatively, not financially, but creatively, Capcom is in one enviable position right now. Because they've got both Devil May Cry and Resident Evil, two games who the last installments of which really pissed a lot of fans off, that they can now reposition as comeback games.
Sure.
That's an enviable fucking position to be in. Because you can have Resident Evil, back to survival horror, back to real scariness. Make it look like it could be the next Amnesia or Outlast or any other sort of horror game that I feel is coming back in a big way virally. Mm-hmm. Really sell it on that. Sure. And the same with Devil May Cry, back to what it was, action hack and slash with old school Dante, the same continuity, same storyline, all that kind of stuff. Both those things. I mean, right now Capcom, I think, is a bit in the lurch when it comes to its money situation. But at least from a creative standpoint, that's an enviable position to be in with two big franchises. So I do believe that Resident Evil, especially given just how fucking Revelations kicked the ass of Resident Evil 6, they're in a really good, strong position to do that. And I do believe we're going to see that.
I hope so. I wonder if the Xbox One and PS4 budgets, it's going to be really interesting to see how much more expensive those games cost to make, because you might have a Sega or a Capcom who's not making as much money as they used to, that just might not be able to put out games that look competitive on those consoles. They cost a lot more to make them look as pretty as those consoles are capable of putting out. They might not be able to compete with the way EA games or Activision games or whatever look on them. That'll be interesting to see. Or they could just go download with those, make them cheaper, because everyone's downloading games these days pretty much. Which brings us to this other question from Corey Lara, who is Coffee or Die on Twitter. With Wii Sports Club announced, are any of you hoping for a Wii Music Club? Yes.
I dream of it every night.
I thought the Wii Sports Club thing was pretty interesting. We didn't talk about it at all. I'll quickly tell people who may not know that Wii Fit U is going to be free for a month, and then if you buy a little like pedometer type thing for $20, you can then register it and keep it for free. So they've essentially made Wii Fit U a $20 game that comes with a pedometer, as long as you already have the balance board and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty smart to make that free. The more things Nintendo does to humble themselves and give things away, the more people are likely to get a Wii U, which is what they really need to do, is get people owning that console and build the install base. So I thought that was smart, and then I thought it was totally stupid, on the other hand, to make each game in Wii Sports, you can now buy a downloadable version of it and play it online with HD graphics, and it just looks like, very low polygon count, no texture HD graphics, so no one cares. For $10 each, you can buy Wii Sports Bowling for... This game used to be free, and now they're essentially splitting it up into 5 parts, $10 per part. Just way, 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 way too expensive. For a game that everyone on the planet has, I think. Doesn't everyone have Wii Sports or have access to it if they want it? Weird.
Wii Sports. That's what I say.
Yeah, it's weird that they're doing that. It's a mistake. I hope they drop the price for their sake. Or do some sort of or get all 5 for $20 bundle or something. Because online play for Wii Sports Boxing is not worth rebuying it for $10 if you already have it. I don't think. 20 more questions happened. Lindsay Collins, she's the top one. She wants to know, will you guys do a spooky edition of Podtoid for Halloween? That is coming up.
I think, in the name of tradition, I'm going to have another fight with Kevin Dent again. And have it ruin the show.
That shouldn't be too hard. He's ready to fight, even if
that'll be fairly easy to instigate.
Yeah, he'll hurt you even if he's your friend. So
all you have to do is start an argument with someone else. He'll show up.
Yeah.
Geez, I already did a Vid Sermon question. It would be rude to do another one. And we already talked about Atlas and Sega as much as we want to. I really don't have anything to think about that yet. It's too early to say anything.
All I want to say is Samba de Mega Amigo.
Sure.
That's all you want to do is puns. I think it was Josh that came up with Personic the Headshot.
That was pretty good. It's cute. It's cute fun.
Was it Darren? It was one of our other writers. Good guys.
Yeah.
Good guys, one and all.
We might do a whole thing on that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll do one more question. I think it's something we've talked about before, but what the heck? Avita Dollars, who is Stereosaur on Twitter, asks, have you guys seen Boondock Saints? Any thoughts on Dafoe and Drag? Amazing character there. The most interesting thing to me about Boondock Saints is just how much worse the sequel was. I've never seen, from the same creative team, same actor, same writer, same director, just completely lost it. It was like a parody of the original. But the first one is definitely fun to watch. Playful, exciting.
I had never seen the movie sober. And I'd seen it many times. I'd never seen it sober until St. Patty's Day a few years ago, where for whatever reason I didn't drink, and it was awful. I was like, wow, I really am not enjoying this sober at all. It was all right. I think you have a couple drinks, and it's sort of popcorny, but it's not great. I think. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. Defoe's entertaining in it. I've met the guy who plays the dude who manages the place they're working, the meatpacking facility at the beginning. He used to play in a pub down the street from me.
Oh, kind of husky? Yeah.
Was that?
Is he the husky guy?
I don't know. The guy who's kind of baldish. Fires them at the end of the opening scene. I don't remember.
Can't remember him right now.
He's not significant. It was merely one of those happenstance odd things.
Have you guys seen The Stuff recently?
A few years ago. I keep seeing ads for it for some reason.
On TV?
No, trailers. The trailer, the trailer keeps popping up in recommended crap on. I don't know why. I do really like that movie.
Yeah, I forgot the details about it. It was my wife's birthday party on Saturday, and we set up a couch and a VCR and an old TV outside. She was so happy. I don't know why that made her so happy, but it really did. And she wanted to watch horror movies only, so we watched The Stuff. There's some really surprising parts in that movie.
It's kind of like They Live meets The Blob.
But with a character, the main character, I believe his name is Butterman, his attitude towards everyone is slightly condescending and amused. Like, no matter what the problem is. Like, there's a scene where a boy, his family is possessed by the evil alien marshmallow delight, which is called the Stuff. And his family's all eating it, and they're pressuring him to eat it, and instead he fills a cup of the Stuff with shaving cream and pretends to eat it, and his family catches him and chases him and tries to kill him and force him to become a Stuff zombie. And Butterman just happens to be driving by in the middle of the night, and it's like, "Get in the car, son." And the boy jumps in the back of the car, and Butterman's like, "So what seems to be the matter?" And the boy's like, "My family, they ate the Stuff, and now their brains have been eaten from the inside out, and I had to eat shaving cream in order to try to trick them." And he goes, "Well, you know, we all gotta eat shaving cream now and again." It's like, could this movie be any better? You gotta watch the Stuff. Wow, didn't think I'd talk about that. Should we talk about the things we did? Or is there more stuff you guys
Why
want
don't
to
we talk about the things we did?
Okay, sounds
God's
good.
sake, Jonathan.
Do you want to start, Jim? You can start.
All right, I'll start. I'm not afraid. Yeah, this week's been a bit of a busy week, and it's only Wednesday. Jesus, I felt like I'd done a week on Monday. Kicked off Monday with the Grand Theft Auto 5 review. We've got a video review of it on the Podtoid YouTube channel, which Conrad edited for me. The review itself on Destructoid.com. We talked about it at the top of the show. Also had a review up for The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD, which was a fun review. I forgot that the embargo was up yesterday and did it all yesterday. Also, my Now Bloody Playing series. I've got more videos in that series for you on the Podtoid YouTube channel. I have played some Grand Theft Auto 5, got a Now Bloody Playing of that. I've played more Outlast, and I have played Delver, which is a game on the computer.
Yeah, strange looking game there.
Yeah, sort of Minecrafty visuals with roguelike-y elements. That seems to be getting a lot of play recently, sort of doing things with roguelike elements. So I played that, and you can all see that on Destructoid. Over on Escapist, the Escapist magazine, my new Jimquisition is out, and it's called... what did I call it? Ludo Scababib Disco Biscuits. That's what I called it. And it's about ludonarrative dissonance, or the misapplication of the term. Also, Rhyme Down, Jim and Yancey's Rhyme Down Spectacular is out. It's called Wine Out of 10. And I'm sure the title will sort of give you a clue as to what that is about. So that's that. Also, minor announcement. I declared my intentions today that I intend fully to start actually contributing to the video game industry and writing actual video game stories, like for real video games that you can buy in a shop. And I'm having phone calls about that. So that's a thing that's actually happening.
That's great.
I'm excited and terrified.
Do you think you'll start with the shop games or the download games?
We'll see.
Could go either way. That's huge.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to actually hear that. That's really exciting, because I want you to take it personally when I tell you that all video game stories suck.
And will that cause any... I don't know enough about it. Anthony Birch, of course, went into writing video games and stopped writing about video games after that. I don't know if there's a potentially conflict of interest there, or is it something you'll have to feel out?
I'm intending everything I do to inform each other.
Well, and I think at this point, like, that kind of concern is something that I have when you're like previewing content, or you're making objective, not non-review, like pre-release. That's more where I'm concerned about the potential conflict of interest there, because it's not like he's going to review his own crap.
Yeah.
Right.
And anything forward-looking of that nature he wouldn't do in the first place. So I don't see too much of a problem if you're just contributing text somewhere.
Exactly. I'm not looking for a full-time job with anyone. In fact, the thing that I am in talks with at the moment is a project-based job, so it wouldn't even require me to move anywhere. permanently. So that's the kind of thing I'm after. Is kind of like a Rihanna Pratchett type of thing. Like, she's not employed at any one place, but she'll write a story for a place. So that's what I'm going for, and I still intend to do Jimquisition, still intend to do my stuff on Destructoid, and if anything, I would hope it would make my criticism of the industry even better.
And do you feel like you would feel so competitive against, like, let's say you were writing the next Mega Man, which would be awesome, and then Mighty Number 9 comes out, and you were like, should I review Mighty Number 9 because that's like my hot competition? Probably wouldn't be an issue, huh?
Probably not. I've never... I mean, I've reviewed games of people who I like actual developers who I dislike on a personal level and who dislike me.
Well,
and have always been fair
too,
and praised the games that are good.
Well, and with contract work of that nature, it doesn't really matter how well it sells. You already got paid.
Yeah, that's true.
So in terms of that kind of competition, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my goal with this is simply to actually contribute to an industry who I'm always talking about how I think the industry should be. Mm-hmm. And I would like to actually try and make it that way, rather than just sit on the sidelines and throw peanuts. Is actually get in there and put my money where my mouth is. So that's what I'm approaching this from.
Fantastic. I'm very excited about that.
Well, I was going to take this week off and actually try and make a game, but instead I allowed myself to get involved in all sorts of Destructoid projects. So we have a new live streaming news show that we've experimented with. Jim was on it yesterday. It's called The Core. We're going to try it again tomorrow. That's Thursday. 2 p.m. Pacific, so if you're around, you can try and check that out. And we're going to make that, eventually that's going to be something that goes out to the YouTube channel. And eventually it's going to be something that huge members, the wonderful Destructoid Huge program that we offer now, huge members will be able to chat and participate in that show in the future. Right now we have it, as we're in the testing phase and getting everything sort of organized, we're sort of like a trial period. People are able to get in there, but eventually it's just going to be huge people. And that was a really fun show we did yesterday. And so I'm hoping that continues along those lines. I think it's going to be fun. We're wrapping up the Daily Spelunk this week on the Podtoid YouTube channel. Jordan and I are. It's a bummer, but at the same time, I don't know how long we could perpetually continue to play Spelunky and have interesting things to talk about. There is sort of a line there. So we are going to wrap it up this week. We're trying to get the last few challenges that people want us to do out of the way. I'm being absolutely no help at all in that. And let's see, what else? We're going to have a new Challenge Scott going up soon. No office chat this week because of the core stuff and the fact that I was planning on taking the week off. Didn't have. I feel like Dante and Clerks. Nice to be here today. So anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much it from me right now. There's probably something I'm forgetting. We'll do Saturday Morning Hangover. Actually, that's going to be really exciting this weekend. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific on Destructoid.com. We just put it up on the homepage now. We're going to be playing the new demo of Aben Hawkins and the 1001 Spikes, the new multiplayer demo with all the characters. It's expanded from the PAX demo, so there's new content.
I tried downloading that. It wouldn't let me download.
Yeah. You see, what happened there is that he emailed 4 people, including himself, and said, okay, let me know when you've got this, and I can take the link down. And I got to it 10 minutes after that, downloaded it, sent him an email back, and he took the link down.
What?
So I snaked it out from under you.
Son of a bitch.
But I'll send it to you. I haven't even run it yet. I'm excited.
New characters.
Yeah. It's going to be good times. What about you, Jonathan Holmes?
Oh, yeah, nothing.
Cool.
It's not true. We had Richard Hogg. It's interesting. He doesn't want to be called Rich Hogg. It's Richard Hogg or Dick Hogg.
It's interesting that Dick Hogg is preferable.
Yeah.
But he's from England. Do they use the dick word in England as much, Jim?
Yeah, a lot.
All right. Huh. Well, I like him a lot.
If you're called Richard Head in Britain, then well done you.
Yeah, he's a Richard Hogg. He talked to me on a cute little phone. It seemed like the 90s, even though we were talking on Skype or Google Plus Hangouts or whatever. He He had a phone up to his ear the whole time. It looked great. He is working with Honey Slug on a game called Hohokum, and we talked for an hour and a half about all sorts of things. He does the art, design, and scenario on Hohokum, Hohokum being the upcoming PS4, I believe, and Vita. I don't know if it's coming to PS3. I can't remember. I've only played it on the PS4. And I couldn't remember a lot of things when I was talking to him. I remembered Hohokum in this weird dreamlike state while I was talking to him about it, and telling him my favorite parts of the game are things that are not actually in the game. I just remembered it completely wrong. Like, you're flying around, there's elephants. He's like, that's not in the game. Sounds good. I'm like, you sure? I remember it. And that's the kind of game Hohokum is. If you haven't played it yet, you probably haven't. Such a sweet, surreal, simple game. Fun to look at, fun to be there in the game. No death, no problems. Just exploring and figuring things out. And things seem to happen at random. He made it with his friend Ricky Haggett, and they basically would just talk about whatever and see what ideas came up, and then after they'd been done talking for a few hours, they would just put all that stuff in the game. Very interesting. Listen to him talk. It's on the YouTube channel, I saw, which is exciting. And is it on iTunes yet, Conrad?
It will be. I knew there was something I forgot to do at 3 a.m. last night, so it will be. Yeah, but by the time this hits, probably.
Very good. Yeah, I was really out of it that week, but Dick didn't seem to mind, which was nice. This Sunday, I believe, I'll have to double check with her, but I believe we're having Merritt Kopus on the show. Merritt is an interesting young woman. She runs a website called Forest Ambassador, which is similar to Sup Holmes in some ways, in that it's made only to try to point out to people interesting games they might not have heard of otherwise. She also is in game development herself. She's working on a game called Medusa right now. We'll find out what that means. She makes games about herself, but also about game design in general. So they kind of vary between very design-focused games, just about the way you can interact with objects and what that means, and also Twine games that are almost purely narrative-based. So she's fun. I'm excited to get to know her and let everyone get to know her. Oh yeah, she made Hug Punks. Everyone should go play Hug Punks. Punks with an X. It's a pretty fun game. And other games too. So yeah, that's it for me. That's Sunday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Destructoid. It pops up right at the top now, right? The live streaming?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, we put that right up on the top of Destructoid.com when it airs for, like the first hour of it. Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
You can watch
that. Yeah, indeed.
With your head. Just look at it.
Yeah.
Why don't you fucking do it? It's like, that's it then. That's us done for another week, thank Christ. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.